Hello everyone and welcome to Inside Tiger Football. I'm your host Mark Frie, and alongside me each and every week is the head coach of the Tigers, Coach David Alexander. And today we're going to be looking back at a big Week 2 win as your Broken Arrow Tigers dominated the Tigers from Bentonville. And Coach, what a great win.
Yeah, Mark, it was fantastic. The kids came out of the tunnel ready to play. They're a little more relaxed than Week 1, and the scoreboard reflected the effort.
Do you think that's really, because people up here were talking about what a difference a week makes, and obviously that you had another week of prep, but what was the big difference between Week 1 and Week 2?
Well, I think, actually, honestly, the lights, when the stadium lights hit the kids on Week 1, you just didn't know how to react. We had 16 guys, we talked about it all last week in the show, 16 guys that had never played a game. Just the confidence, hey, we can play, we can do this. We got great character kids. And they just believed in the system. It was fun. It was a great night.
It was great to watch. And, of course, Bentonville, they come in ranked nationally. They're ranked number 1 in Arkansas. And we thought, as coming in, they had a tough loss to a team from Missouri in Week 1. And we thought it was going to be two teams that we just thought would be a slugfest. And it was a one-sided slugfest.
Well, it was. We got the first couple punches in, and we got them up against the ropes to carry on your metaphor, and they never got off.
It was
great.
Yeah, it was a great night. Let's get right to the first half highlights as your Broken Arrow Tigers took on Bentonville.
Taking the opening kickoff, a strong north wind Friday night. So obviously everybody going north, you had to run the ball. And opening play, man, what a great feeling on the sidelines when you hit your opening play for about 25-yard run for Jamal Shaw. Had a fantastic night. We just decided to line up, and nothing fancy. No one runs that play very much anymore, the ISO play, and we just ISO'd them and powered them, and a couple different blocking schemes, gap blocking schemes, and we just fed it to Jamal in one league all night. It was great.
Your offensive line did a great job.
It did. We talked about it for a couple times that they are going to have to be our bell cow because there are some guys there that have some experience. Now, they make one play there on fourth down. We're too far out to kick a field goal and no reason to punt it. And they're on the 35-yard line, so we had to we went for it on fourth down, but we held them 3 and out, 3rd and 10, and now we're going to go down and score. Warren Leak and Jamal Shaw, 1 and 2. Even those guys, I don't think either one of those guys got tackled all night on the first hit. They broke tackles. They outran people. What a great little run right here by Warren. Showing a lot of strength for a guy that only weighs 135 pounds.
Well, that's something that he continues to do. He keeps those legs moving and just he's worth every pound, isn't he?
If we combined our kids, I bet he would probably be the strongest kid pound per pound on the team. Had an awesome summer, a great spring, and just a fantastic little player. And it was nice to have Cody Harris and Markel Moses back. They both made big plays for us during the night. There's not any negative plays really on the defense. There's just tons and tons of highlights. Good job by Devin Johnson right there, just feeling the rolling punt, just saving us about 8 or 10 yards of field position. You'll see later on we get that going the other direction. Defense swarming to the ball. This quarterback, he's got lots of offers all around the country. He's big. God, he's big. 6'5", 240 pounds. If he was playing for me, he'd probably be playing offensive tackle.
We called Israel Tristan quite a bit again on Friday night, another big game there.
Yeah, that's 2 weekends in a row, right, where he's had 15, 17 tackles. Young man that just plays with a big heart. He's not overly big in stature either, but can run and plays with a chip on his shoulder. And
you mentioned Markel Moses and Cody Harris back. How important was that to get off to a good start to have those guys back in the lineup?
Well, it gave the defense, even though the defense played very well for the most part against Owasso, there's 2 guys that each had 13 starts at Broken Arrow last year. So just some confidence, a little calming influence over those young linebackers and the other young guys in the secondary. So as it showed all night in how they played and how it affected the whole defense.
You've been on both sides of this when a team has established the running game and when you and your team have really dominated and established the running game. Tell the folks watching, what does that do not only to your confidence but to the other teams?
It's such a big dichotomy. Okay, if a team is throwing the ball and you're like, we're just one play away from being able to stop the passing game. But when a team is able to run the ball on you, it deflates the whole sideline. It's not just the defense is on there, but the offense is on the sideline. You're like, oh my gosh, the clock's running. Now we're going to have to hurry up. We're going to have to change what we do on offense. And the same thing, when you're able to run the ball, the energy on the sideline just increases exponentially every series. And not many teams do it. Not many teams are just, hey, we're going to pound the rock every time. We're going to make you stop it. And Friday night, it just snowballed for us and against Bentonville.
Well, let's keep watching that snowball as it rolled downhill all night long for your Tigers.
I'm glad you put on a clip here of Austin Gilmore punting. He's been fantastic 2 weeks in a row. There it is. If that guy, all he has to do is fall on that ball at the 12 or 14 yard line, and it saves them this goal line player, these goal line plays right here. And the student section was right behind them, caused them a penalty. Of course, the penalty was only about 6 inches from where the ball was at, but a delay game penalty and a timeout. Now they end up getting a first down right there, but that's it for this drive. They're going to get 1 first down, and we're going to get the ball back. They're punting into the wind. We're going to get great field position. Devin Johnson returning punts. There you go. We get the ball, the plus 45 yard line. Reversed Warren Leak, a block by our quarterback.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often, right? Great little play by Warren. Been wanting to get that in there. Just find extra ways to get him the football out in space. What a good run. I mean, all the guys in the white shirts, helmets are laying on the ground facing our end zone is a good deal. And that wasn't a particularly well blocked play, but breaking tackles and making guys miss. And Jamal had his shoulder down there really low, down knee height. They're not going to stop him right there. That was an easy touchdown for him. Here we are doing the jungle boogie dance. The kids loved it, man. We had the band doing it. We had the student section doing it. It's been a great deal.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Corner blitz. Markel Moses coming off the corner. He's not a big tackler. He likes to play man coverage, but it's a good deal. This shows how big this quarterback is right there. Just shrugs off a linebacker.
Right.
Of course, he should have just taken the sack. And he throws it up. Jake Friesting, he's leading the team in tackles after 2 weeks, comes up with an interception. I love Jake Friesting. You had him on the radio show last week.
He's great kid, good athlete. And here we hit one big.
Hit one big. Well, if you can run the ball, and they have to try to start going man coverage, big plays like that are going to happen in the passing game. And if you run the ball and you protect with 7 or 8 guys, it's easy. Quarterback can stand back there for a long time, let those long routes develop. And here's Warren sneaking into the pile right there. You kind of lose him under the mass of humanity. He's laying across the goal line. It's great strength for a little man. Yeah. Great big heart.
So your team is up 21-0 at halftime, and we've talked the first 2 weeks that they need experience and saddle time.
Yep.
What's your message when for a team that's up now 3 touchdowns? Because as we see later in the show, they're going to come out and maintain that dominance.
Yeah.
What do you talk to them about in the halftime locker room?
Great question, Mark. It was, all right, man, we played a great half of football. What does a great half of football get you? Right? Doesn't get you anything. Doesn't get you a win. Doesn't get you a loss. There's no trophies. You play 48 minutes, and let's go out there and continue what we've done for the first 24. Then I told the defense, the offensive defense were split up. I said, defense, this game is not complete unless you guys score.
Yeah.
So Coach Klink calls me Dave Stradamus. Some of my predictions, all my predictions so far this year have come true. So I was glad that one did. That was pretty cool. We'll get to that play here in a little bit.
I don't have to call you that.
No, you don't.
I just feel uncomfortable.
It doesn't really have that great of a ring to it.
Well, we'll come up with something better for you, I'm sure, by the end of the season. Hey, we're going to take a break, and as we do, we want to give you a very exclusive VIP peek into our new indoor practice facility.
Even before the football locker room, weight room, and training room of the multi-purpose facility opened in 2010, there were discussions about sometime building an adjacent indoor facility. The athletic offices, which were in a classroom building on the high school campus, and varsity club opened on the second floor in 2011. 3 years later, after many drawings and discussions that included which side of the multi-purpose facility and which direction the field would run, the indoor facility's final plan became a construction project. Coach David Alexander has called the facility, the only indoor facility of its kind for a high school in Oklahoma, a game changer. The regulation width and 40-yard field with an end zone that matches the one on Tiger Field opened to practice virtually the day the Tigers opened the season. In just a few weeks since it opened, the indoor facility has hosted off-season soccer workouts and Pride sectional rehearsals, as well as football practice. Athletic Director Ken Ellett has hopes that someday, once proper netting is installed inside the entire facility, baseball, softball, and golf will benefit from the building also.
At St. John, you're not the patient in 201. You're a 7-month survivor. You're not the heart attack victim on the 4th floor. You're hero to Ava, Charlie, and Caleb. You're more than a diagnosis or database entry. You're the reason we exist. Our entire staff is committed to making you stronger. It's why Tulsans, for 85 years and counting, choose the health family of St. John.
Coach, as we went to break, we took a look at the new indoor practice facility. Talk about the benefits of having that.
Well, it's going to be great for us all season. Okay, we're going to be able to get inside the shade when it's really hot, get it out of the rain, thunder and lightning. Hopefully, when the playoffs get here, there'll be 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground every day.
Yeah.
But I honestly think the best benefit we will get out of that building will be in the off seasons from now on. Starting in January, the development of the kids, development of the team. Summer camps, we'll always have someplace where we can go. It's going to be a tool, a very, very unbelievably fantastic tool that will help the football program and other programs in the school just get exponentially better all the time. It's an amazing facility.
Talk about how important it is to have the same type turf on what you practice on as opposed to what's on the field.
Well, I mean, every coach from years and years in the past would tell you, it's you want to practice on what you're going to play on. Having the same Hellas turf in both places on the game field and inside means the world. Back when you played on grass and practiced on grass,
right.
If you had to go play on a team that had AstroTurf, they had a big advantage. So it's a great tool for us. Having the turf, and they dolled it up just like the turf.
Yeah.
It's got the Tigers in the end zone. It looks fantastic.
Well, it feels great too. I mean, I kind of want to hit like an 8-iron off of it, but I think I'd get in trouble.
Well, I think we probably would get in trouble, but you got a perfect lie every time.
Oh, I know. That's what I need because I never have that when I'm really playing golf. All right, folks, let's get back to the second half highlights.
Hey, there's one really good run play right there. The first play of the second half. Here, get them on a blitz. Make the guy bounce outside to the unblocked Gage Kaiser. Great play. Devin Johnson missed the tackle right there, but he was all upset. I'm telling him on the sidelines, man, you made the play, making him bounce outside. You were in your gap. It's awesome when the quarterbacks don't have a chance to set their feet and throw. It makes it real easy. If the quarterback, they're really looking for the home run right there, the double move, and the pass rush doesn't allow them. The quarterback to set his feet and make the throw. Their run game was really stifled down all night. I love those 5-yard gains right there.
Boy, it makes it nice,
And
doesn't
clock
it?
running, all this stuff. Now, I challenged the quarterback. I said, hey, man, you had a chance early in the game to run and get a first down, and he overthrew Samuel Kim. I said, man, if you step up in the pocket and there's nobody there, take off. Now, we don't get the beginning of this play, but this is Devin Johnson on a fake punt.
Right.
We had one we knew was going to work. We wanted to get it on film. We want the next few opponents to see that we're going to do whatever we have to do to win a ball game. Make them work a little bit harder on the weekends, getting their game plan ready. Look at that. Look at all the white shirts laying on the ground with gray shirts on top of them. That's fantastic. Oh, that was a great block play right there. Trenton Cantrell just he did the dirty work a lot Friday night. A lot of inside blocks, a lot of outside on ISO on linebackers and safeties. Every time we scored, Trent Cantrell was right in front of the running back. He had a great game.
Yeah, and you had him lined up, like you said, all over. You had him
all
at fullback
and him everywhere.
Yeah, and we noticed on air he had a couple of great kickoffs too. He really did.
He did. He after we didn't get that first kickoff in the second half in the end zone with the wind. I told our special teams coach, Coach Holt, I said, man, go ahead and put Cantrell in there. He's got the best leg. Well, he had never done it. I said, I don't care. He can do it. The kid's been starting for the basketball team for 3 years. You know, he's not afraid of the big time. And then I think he kicked 3 in the end zone.
He did.
Fantastic.
It was great to see, and that gives you that other threat and capability there for your special team. So that was good to see as well. Yep. Before we go to the fourth quarter highlights, talk a little bit about your defensive front. They really did a good job all night, because on paper, as you look at that matchup, you thought, boy, that's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, when you laid them down on the paper and you saw we were giving up about 40 pounds a guy, makes you a little worried. But man, we got 6 studs that we can play up there that had fantastic ball games, and most of them are underclassmen. You know, Gage Kaiser and Taylor Steins, 2 juniors, that big, strong, physical kids. We got Eric Clark, who played defensive end. He's the guy we'll see here in a little bit. Scores a touchdown. You know, he played JV running back for me last year. Big motor, explosive young man. Richard Wampler and Dominic Burks. You know, Dominic Burks and Richard Wampler didn't play football last year. And 2 great success stories. Dominic can really run, plays with a lot of leverage, and Wampler, there's nothing pretty about him at all. I'm not talking about his looks. I'm talking about the way he plays. He's just ugly. He's got stuff flying all over the place, arms and elbows, but fantastic effort, and he's leading the team in sacks.
Yeah, great stuff.
Great
really
stuff.
Yep. All right, let's get back to the final quarter of highlights.
Great rally of the football. We got guys holding up. You see Cody Harris trying to pull the ball out there. We talked about it last week, right? You get a guy held up by your teammates, go pull the ball out. That's going to pay off for us here in a little bit. Blitz, no room. Cody Harris coming across the top. Tough throw, had to throw it over Markel in the zone. Cody Harris getting there to knock the ball down. And here you can see we're starting to substitute some guys in, get some guys some playing time, get some other guys some rest. And these guys are doing a great job making running backs cut it back and bounce, and not much there. Great play right there, great hit. Carter Key, sophomore. That's the way to be disciplined and stay where you're supposed to be. It'd been real easy to run across the top right there. How about this play right here? Big play. You know, the quarterback for Bentonville is fighting, trying to get a first down. And the best thing about this is not really the touchdown, but Markel and Brady Jones, our 2 corners, running down there and getting blocks on.
Right.
They're fast guys, keep catching up with Eric Clark. Eric looks a little bit tired right there.
Yeah, we thought we might have to get him some oxygen at the end of that. But
he was supposed to cover the kickoff, and the kickoff coach is screaming at him to get out there. And I'm like, Coach, we need to find a sub. I don't think Eric's going to make it.
But what a great play. It really sealed the deal that night for sure.
It put the icing on the cake. Great play by a great story, great kid. Well, here we go. This will be the last little drive they have down the field. We've got 11 new guys out there, and it was fantastic for them. I told these guys that were out on the field, I told them in front of the whole team, it meant a lot to keep that 0 on the scoreboard. Right. Meant a lot. There it is, the 0 down there in front of the band. That's a cool deal we've got going on.
Yeah, I love watching it. And before that, you're at the other end zone in front of the students.
Yeah.
And then you sprint the 100 yards and get in front of the band. It's great.
That was a great deal. Great, we've talked about Jadamski, Mr. Jadamski. Yeah. He's doing a great job with the student section. It was fantastic. They caused penalties and timeouts for Bentonville. We wanted to go celebrate them. And then obviously, we know how great the pride is and what Darren Davis has done. And Darren's a huge football fan, and he's been great to me. And we want to go down there and celebrate with his band. And you know what? We mentioned it earlier. I mentioned it real quick. We got the band doing the Jungle Boogie too now.
I know.
We scored down on that north end zone. They're all doing the dance. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool.
Well, it was a great win and obviously a dominating effort for your Tigers.
Well, Thank you. It's something to build on. You know, it was a tough loss against Owasso, a game we felt like we probably shouldn't have lost, but you know, Owasso played a fantastic football game. I think we learned something from it, and I think we showed it on Friday. And hopefully we've got a few lessons we learned here that we can carry into next week.
Well, I certainly think you will. Congratulations, Coach, on that victory.
Thanks.
And as we go to break, it's time for this week's special of Friday Night Sights.
My Contour helps me discover all new sides to myself, like it knows I'm into sci-fi and personally recommends new things I didn't know existed, like intergalactic biohumanoid sci-fi, lovable ogre sci-fi, and whatever this is. I just look for the diamonds, and suddenly, I'm into whole new worlds of entertainment. That's why Contour is TV just for me.
For the many sides of you, there's Contour.
Back on Inside Tiger Football, and now it's the weekly installment where you get to know a different coach on the Tigers coaching staff. And today, we get to know Jake Corbin.
Since I was a little kid, I can imagine, I always remember just looking up to different guys. I had my first grade teacher was a lady named Miss Harris, and maybe kind of instilled in me my loving with education and football. Her son was a football player for Midwest City Bombers, and he just played special teams for him and wasn't an all-star or anything like that. But I can remember that I thought that was the coolest thing in the world that her son played for the Bombers, and I'd go watch him on Friday night. And she brought me a poster that was signed by him, and I thought that was the coolest thing. And that's what I try to tell our kids, that there's a kid out there just like you when you were a little kid, or just like me when I was a little kid, that you are that person to them. And it doesn't matter if you start, if you're the best player, the worst player, if you're on that team, those kids look up to you. Two all-time favorite players are Barry Sanders, who obviously played Oklahoma State, Detroit Lions, and a little quarterback, Doug Flutie, were my two favorite players growing up, and I thought they both kind of overachieved and stayed humble, and just I could tell when they play they really loved the game, had a passion for the game, and those are two of the guys I really enjoyed watching growing up. Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew that I didn't have a chance of being real tall, and I'm fortunate to be 5'9", so I'm pretty excited about that. But you always knew you had to work a little bit harder than other people and get there earlier, stay later, and be stronger and faster. So yeah, absolutely. Probably like most coaches, any coach that you find was probably the hardest worker on his team. And that was probably the most dependable guy on his team. And what I try to instill in my kids, if you ask me when I was a kid what my goal was, individual goals, I didn't have one. My goal was to win a state title in high school. I was fortunate enough to do that my junior and senior year, but that was our goal. We had a bunch of just blue-collar type, no-name kids that came together and were pretty tough. And that's the kind of stuff that you try to instill in your players today, is put those goals aside for the greater cause. Good things will happen. You'll still accomplish what you want to accomplish individually, but if that's your focus, I think it makes it real tough. Well, my little son, Kason, is 2.5. You've probably seen him, run around here. He'll be wearing a Broken Arrow football jersey. Loves Broken Arrow, loves the kids, loves being around the football players, calls himself a football coach. And some days he's a coach, some days he's a football player, so I guess it depends on the day. But he loves being around the cheerleaders, the football kids. He goes to eat with the position dinners with us, team dinners with us. He's at practice, at the indoors. I mean, he's around. Destiny or myself we don't have family in the Tulsa area, and so if we're both at something, then he's at it with us. So he loves it, and I can't think of a better environment for me to raise my child. Destiny and I, we enjoy spending time with our son. We both work so much, by choice, coaching teams that we do. So if we have any time off, we like to grab Kason and go out to eat, or take him. If it's summertime, it's warm enough, we'll take him to the lake and let him swim around and go fish, and go to a splash pad or go to the zoo. Pretty lame as far as all that stuff goes. just like spending time together as a family. As soon as we started dating was football season right before, and so if any young coaches out there, the advice that we give the young coaches on the staff that are unmarried is you have to put a potential wife through football season at least 1 year to see how she handles it, because it devotes so much time away from them, and you have to see if they're able to handle that and adjust and be a good coach's wife, because it's not for everyone and it is very difficult. And so we dated throughout a whole football season, and dated for about 1.5 years before we got married. And so she did awesome. I didn't ask her to ever come to a game, and she made sure she was at every one if it was home or away. And if we lost, she didn't say anything too critical. So it worked out pretty well. She's awesome with it. I was a big Jennifer Love Hewitt fan a long time ago, so that's kind of embarrassing now, but that was back in the I Know What You Did Last Summers and, and all those awful movies. So yeah, back then, yes. Obviously Mel Gibson and Braveheart's awesome. And you talk about Gladiator, Sean Astin and Rudy. I mean, all those guys just overcoming obstacles, just continue to fight, just be a warrior and have, what I call warrior spirit inside you, and that you're just not going to quit. You'll never take our freedom!
Coach, tell me a little bit about Jake. Obviously, he's a holdover on your staff.
He is. Yeah, Jake and I got here last year at the same time, almost the exact same day, and we clicked immediately. Jake's got a great passion and a great way with kids. I call him a young coach. He's not really a young coach. He's just young to me. Great knowledge of football. Really a great knowledge of the passing game. He's been at 3 places. He's been at 3 winning programs. He's from Carl Albert. He coached at Union. He's coached here, so he knows how to win, knows what it takes to win. And Jake's a guy that I probably in 3 or 4 years going to have to replace. He's going to want to go off and be a head coach somewhere, and he's going to be a great head coach when that comes. I hope he stays here with us 10 years, but he's probably too good of a coach.
Well, and that's a great thing.
No, it's a great thing, Mark. I didn't mean to make it sound any other way. If I have to replace great coaches every 4 or 5 years, that's what I want. I want other schools coming in here and knocking on our door after we've been successful.
Well, that's what we feel like with our crew here. We just can't replace them.
No.
We don't even know what we would do without them. All right, folks, we're going to take a final break, and when we come back, we're going to preview this week's big matchup when your Broken Arrow Tigers take on the Union Redskins. Back in a moment.
It's no secret that Oklahoma schools have their challenges. We all want to help our schools excel, and TTCU has a great way to get involved. Right now, when you open a TTCU checking account with a School Pride Visa check card, you'll get $50, and so will your school. Each time you swipe, they donate. So far, they've given nearly $500,000 to local schools. Together, we can make a real difference for our kids. Cash for you and your school? Check at TTCU.
Welcome back. Coach, this week you go from facing Arkansas's #1 team to perennial powerhouse Union.
Yeah.
At Union, how do you think you're going to match up?
Well, we're going to match up fine.
Yeah.
We're going to be fine. They've obviously got a great team and a great program. Coach Frederick's been there a long time. They're the same type of team they've always had. Fast. Got a bunch of guys on defense that can run. They got 11 guys that can run. Offensively, they've got, they're just their next great tailback, right, and their next great quarterback. Their quarterback's a winner. He's not 6'4", 250 pounds like the last 2 guys we faced. He's stature-wise, he's a smaller guy, but he's a winner. He knows when to pull the ball down and run and get a first down. He always seems to be throwing it to the right guy. We're going to have our hands full, obviously, but you're playing Union. You wouldn't expect anything different. We're going to do what we do. We're going to play really, really fast on defense, and we're going to tackle number 22 and try to tackle number 11. And we're going to run the ball. We're going to knock people down and hand the ball to our 2 great running backs. And we're going to play for 48 minutes and see what the scoreboard says at the end.
With a young team like you have, the first 2 games you've had the luxury of being home.
Right.
So this will be their first test on the road, and it'll be in a hostile environment. How do you prepare a team for that hasn't probably been in that environment before?
Well, you know, honestly, we're not going to talk about it a whole lot,
right?
Except as with the coaches and the staff. Right? We're going to talk about what we need to do practice-wise to get ready for noise, get ready for something adverse to happen, and we'll do some of that in practice. Okay, we can't hear these next 5 plays. You can't hear anything, man. You know, how are we going to get a play off? Try to signal in plays when something crazy is going on. Having the ball down there on the 5-yard line in front of their band when it's going nuts. So we've got a great plan that we put together over the weekend on what we're going to do this week in practice to prepare our kids, and you know, we'll just practice every day and put some heat on them where they have to practice under some stressful environments they're going to see Friday night.
Well, we look forward to bringing you all the exciting highlights of that big matchup against Union. And don't forget, fans, you can catch David Alexander and myself on the radio every Tuesday night from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock on 97.1 The Sports Animal, or you can come by and say hi to the coach in person. That radio show is at Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers right here in Broken Arrow, and you can catch the game call on 97.1 with my radio partner Steve Scott, or you can also find us on the web at arrowvision.tv. We want to thank all of our great sponsors for this show: Cox Business Solutions, St. John of Broken Arrow, TTCU, the Credit Union, First National Bank of Broken Arrow, the Arrow Group, and Bank of Oklahoma. Want to thank all of our Friday night production crew and studio crew. For head coach David Alexander, I'm Mark Frie. Thanks for watching, everyone.